Hello there, gamerinos and gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and look what I picked up this time. This here is Copycat, a mostly narrative experience about a little shelter cat. That's part wacky cat simulator and part tear-jerking story. And yeah, once the pain train starts moving, it never stops. Let's just say, if you really love cats, you might want to give this one here a pass. So as I said, this is more a narrative experience. It's more complex than a walking simulator, but not by much. You can run around small playgrounds and interact with a few physics objects and do some cat things via button prompt quicktime events and simple minigames. And when I say simple, I mean simple. So simple that the game doesn't even allow you to screw up. Not that it matters, there are no meaningful choices in this game. The outcome is always predetermined. You're just along for the ride. Now, the act of making a decision one way or another still has meaning, even if the outcome isn't affected by it, so I won't hold it against the game. I'd go even so far and say it works exactly as intended. But at least a little bit of flavor would have been nice. It's okay to not let me catch the butterfly, but let me land more gracefully if I nail all the QTEs, or clumsily flop to the ground if I fail. And when I press the wrong button during a fight scene, I shouldn't just get another prompt, but maybe the opponent gets a hit in and instead of escaping unscathed, I'm limping away or something. When I carefully mess up the whole house, why doesn't anyone react to it but only to a bit of spilled cat food on the floor? Because that's the problem right now. Yeah, you're gonna see and hear and experience exactly what the devs want you to, and no matter what you do and how much you try, you can't change a thing. Which again, isn't bad in and of itself. You just have to go in with the right expectations. That said, I think it causes a bit of an issue with the tone of the game. It doesn't matter if you're role-playing as a nice or an asshole cat, that is, whenever the game doesn't force you into one or the other. And it doesn't matter whether you warm up to your owner or not. You can lay waste to the kitchen and bite and scratch your owner, and the next morning it is presented as you really caring about the old lady you're living with. Also, the game's tone itself is a bit inconsistent. On the one hand, we're supposed to empathize with the cat who, as is implied, got hurt in the past by her former owners. So now she's wary of her new owner and tries to hide from her and look for a way to escape her new prison. But before that, we sing with the lady on the way home. And whenever we wander around, we are treated to silly jokes from the cat's perspective that don't really make any sense. Cats don't know Rembrandt. So our cat's personality is a bit inconsistent, mostly when it comes to the inner monologue. Though, this is also used to show some growth and progression. Sometimes the jokes land pretty damn great, when you play around the house, doing your little cat things, causing mischief, and an animal documentary in the background makes it sound like the most vicious and amazing thing you could be doing right now.
That's right. Retract your claws, Dawn. You need to sharpen your claws in case there's danger ahead.
But then there are moments when we should feel sorry for our hurt little cat, who doesn't feel safe enough to build up trust again, while silly jokes slide into view all the time. Or when we have no other choice than to torment a weak old lady in this cheerful manner. If this were really just a little cat venture, like have a little kitten grow up in a nice household and experience all kinds of stuff, warm up to the kids who care for it, maybe have the children be irresponsible a few times, maybe show some problems between the parents, maybe have the cat get lost at some point, but stay lighthearted, then the whole approach the game takes would be fine, maybe even great. But here, it clashes with a mostly depressing story about loss, trust issues, justified so, and not knowing where to belong. The old lady is deathly ill, the little cat has been hurt and abandoned in the past. And to top it off, everyone in this world is either cartoonishly evil or stupid. Everyone except for two people is an animal abuser and hates cats, the most beloved animal if the internet is anything to go by. So why is everyone just kicking and stomping towards the little cat? The game wants you to feel sorry for the cat, and it tries to do so by making you feel miserable. But it more so comes off as confused and a bit silly. There's a point where you need to run after a car in a little Subway Surfer-like segment, but then you have to dodge all kinds of stuff on the road. Boulders, crates, large as hay rolls. How did the car get through here? It's just absurd and throws you immediately out of an otherwise sad scene. Why even make this a minigame? Have the cat run after the car and slowly lose sight of it. It's all we need at the moment. And in addition to the minigames not being very deep and not always appropriate for the tone the story is going for, are the mechanics that are a bit wonky. It's not always clear when the game is ready to recognize your input, and due to a little bit of delay from that and some animations, some scenes look and feel a bit choppy, and the game could be a bit more lenient in recognizing your stick movements during the Simon Says minigames. But all in all, they work and most fit the action your cat performs in the game world. Well, the final button prompt refused to show controller buttons, so that was weird. And I got the achievement for beating the game in one go, even though it took me 2 sittings. So yeah, there are a few minor bugs, but otherwise the game works fine. The art style is alright, and the cat's animations are really well done. As I said before, if this were a more light-hearted, silly cat venture, then the whole concept would be a great old time. But with all the exaggerated misery and really unlikably stupid characters, it more so comes off as tone deaf. If you're here for the cute and wacky cat stuff, then the somber and outright miserable tone might put you off. And the heartbreaking story is undercut by some of the silly minigames, in addition to the often awkward writing.
When my daddy left, it was hard, but I knew it wasn't my fault.
When I discovered this game, the description made it sound like a horror story, and I think this would have been the perfect backdrop to still explore the themes the game goes for, and also have the juxtaposition between the different tones the game presents. Lean into the absurd and create this weird, creepy unreality, because as it is now, it just comes off as cartoonish. I'm not really sure what type of player might like this. Not saying it's outright bad, because there's a lot of neat stuff to find in this game, and overall, I enjoyed the 3 hours I needed to play through, which is an appropriate length for what it is. But it has a less detailed world than Stray, both in interactions and visuals, and lore. It gives you less hijinks than all those wacky physics simulators, and its story isn't as deep or well written as many of the more prominent walking simulators and adjacent games. And those who are just looking for another little experience and are happy with just a bit of all of these elements, they might get put off by the asking price of $15. Or they might not. Maybe $15 for a Sunday afternoon with this very indie experience is just the thing you're looking for. No matter where you stand on this, I wish you the greatest of days. This has been Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next game.